I work for multiple MNCs purely on .NET platform and client side with all the JavaScript frameworks. So you can more know about me in my blog, where you can find out from where I started, and also find out a lot of material for working with .NET. Since .NET is introduced, my blog is there and I'm there, and my list of articles and material and so many solutions for many people. All these are available in my blog. Now, I maintain a WordPress blog, as mentioned there. You can just browse that when you are free. And also our classroom content and other things we will be putting on this blog only. You all can just go through that. I'll be telling you whenever I post any PowerPoint or any questions or any exercises for you to practice. All right. Okay. So now let's get into AngularJS now. See, as I told you, there are some things that we need to know before we get into AngularJS. The first thing is AngularJS.org. AngularJS.org is the official website of Angular, where you can see what is currently provided by Angular, what is its version currently, and also what is the growth or how Angular is getting fast evolved, right? I will also take you to this portal as we go on. But as of now, just whenever you get time, you can go through the AngularJS.org website. That is the official website of AngularJS. Angular is a product or a framework owned by Google and also supported by Microsoft. One of the best thing that you should realize is Angular is not supported by Microsoft, and Microsoft also has a lot of development contribution in AngularJS, but with a name called TypeScript. Probably not directly with AngularJS, but Microsoft has something called TypeScript. We will we will try to understand what is TypeScript, all that slowly. Okay. Now, moving forward. So today what we will learn is what is AngularJS. It's very few finer points about what is AngularJS, and most important objective of today's session is the prerequisites. Okay, maybe you all are well experienced, some of you, and some of you are students, but there are some terms you need to know today to do AngularJS, and also there are some things slowly that you have to keep in pipeline when you are learning. Okay, I'll just try to give you a good idea about the prerequisites and also about the AngularJS. Okay, note down any points that I'm trying to dictate, or otherwise whichever I'm trying to mention more. Probably I will try to put them in a notepad, but some important points as I'm explaining along with the slide, just try make sure that you can note down them also. Okay. All right. So what is AngularJS first of all? What is AngularJS for a end user, and what is AngularJS for a developer, and what is AngularJS for a project? These are the three things that you can just keep in your mind or target to get started with AngularJS. See, AngularJS is for end user who is our website browsing people. They have nothing to do with AngularJS. Okay, whether you use AngularJS, you use JavaScript, anything, end users are not aware of it. End users just browse our application. They are just comfortable with how best we are going to present the application to them. They're least bothered about what framework you are using. An end user always looks at a great user experience. A great user experience is required, wherein he likes to see that everything is highly interactive, everything is faster, and more responsive to him. Like as he clicks on something, then he expects the result to be displayed as quickly as possible and as best as possible. So AngularJS has absolutely nothing to do, nothing for an end user actually. Okay. So what is AngularJS for a developer? I repeat, I'm targeting three things here. What is AngularJS for an end user? What is AngularJS for a developer? And what is AngularJS for a project? Okay. So as I said, AngularJS for end user is nothing. He has nothing to do with AngularJS. A user is just a browsing experience, how rich we are going to provide to him. That's the only thing that end user looks at. Now, what is AngularJS for developer? AngularJS for developer is lot, not little, please. Okay. Let me just keep putting the things in Notepad. Yeah, right. So I was just talking about what is AngularJS for an end user, and I was telling that nothing to do. The end user has nothing to do with AngularJS. Now, what about AngularJS for a developer? When I say AngularJS for a developer, it really counts. A lot of things are there for a developer to be aware of AngularJS and use AngularJS as part of the programming. Today, we all, I hope all of you know about web. I don't know how much experience you have. You are well aware of web and how we are working from the past in web. We started with HTML, then we added JavaScript to HTML, and we started continuously evolving JavaScript. Uh, and we have come to a stage today where JavaScript plays a very vital role in web development. So, as a developer, what's very important, how AngularJS is very important is it makes our web application or our website. It makes our web app or website more rich in terms of user experience, or I mean to say, user interface, in terms of user interface and also in performance. Now, as a developer, always my struggle is now how best I can provide user output to the best output that I can give to my user and the fastest way that I can give. And now what is the modern challenge we have is the responsive output that I can give. When my user is running with a tablet or a phablet or a mobile or a desktop, now how I can give him a same experience without having any compromise on performance and without having any compromise on functionality. That's one big challenge for us. I think every day we are all working in that challenge. Whoever are in web application development, in my attendees, we know like how we struggle really to make that user experience more comfortable and more rich actually. Okay. So for a developer, AngularJS is lot. It's lot for developer because it's lot for developer because most of the things, yeah, I didn't say few, most of the things that we were implementing in a hardcore methods is now very much simplified with Angular. Yeah, you will see in our course time how it's really simplified with Angular. Okay, it's a lot simplified with Angular. Maybe sometimes for a simple task, what we have done in the past JavaScript, today while doing those things with Angular, we really feel like, okay, how much uh, backward we were in terms of programming directly with JavaScript. Okay, right. We will see that as we go on how it is really lot for developer, in making the simplicity, right? So AngularJS for a developer, it's all about, again, it's all about client-side scripting. It's all about client-side scripting. So as I said, for a developer, all the client-side scripting that we need to perform, you can now do it with AngularJS. In the past, you might have done with JavaScript. Let me just list out that also. Past JavaScript we have done, jQuery we have used for a long time now, and we are still using jQuery, and we have used Knockout, and some of you might have used Backbone. Now all this is our past today. Today there's a huge requirement on moving to AngularJS. It's not that it's one more JavaScript framework that has been introduced into the market. It's about how many features really AngularJS has in order to simplify our works and make our works a lot faster. We had good time with jQuery, Knockout, Backbone, Ember, so many JavaScript frameworks, but they were all today after working with Angular, I can say that they were all complex. They're not so user friendly and they're not so good like Angular. Okay, that's for sure. And you'll also experience as we are working on Angular, as we are doing demos, you will definitely experience all these things. Okay, so what was my point? As a developer, what is AngularJS for me? As a developer, AngularJS, first point was simplicity is what I'm going to get, and more important is all my client-side scripting for web application is now done using AngularJS. That's where every company is now looking out to write their apps in AngularJS. I think once we are done with our course, you all should be probably very comfortably able to implement AngularJS in .NET applications especially. Even though all my content you can use in any type of platform, but maybe more in .NET specific, I can really guarantee you you can be very rich Angular developer with respect to .NET development. All right. Okay, so client-side scripting is what, as a developer, your primary target is. Coming to maybe almost for the first time, I can say, for the first time by developers, it's not like it's first time available. What is that? Client-side testing. Client-side testing. This is really one thing that is, I can say, it's an awesome feature of AngularJS. We have been doing testing, and for various developers, testing meaning is really different in different organizations. What I notice when I work with many big projects in multiple companies, I really see a testing projection in different way in different companies. I hope you agree with me. You might have experienced this when you're talking to your friend or somebody else working in other places. Somebody says, hey, we develop app and then we give it to our QA team. They are going to do the testing. And somebody says, no, we write our code, we test ourselves, and then we have a testing process and all. And most of them, when they're talking about this testing, they're all talking about testing their server side code, but not the client side testing. Now, client side testing is really something that we have to do today, without which we cannot assure the quality of our content. And what's the reason that client-side testing plays an important role is because lot of my web application coding is today performed in client-side. That's the reason I need to do testing in my client-side. If you take my latest any latest application like Paytm or like Amazon, if you look at a Paytm homepage, a little work with Paytm and some other guys, uh, the other development team. Like I work with JustDial team and I work with little Paytm team. Now, what I notice in justdial.com or Paytm coding is majority of page content is client-side coding with Ajax and very little server-side coding. So what initially happens, you start writing your code, lot of JavaScript using any framework, and you start writing Ajax, and you write your server-side code. Now, once you're done with your page, once you're done with your code, you start testing your server-side code by making a call to it, by passing some data, and then just check, hey, this method is working or not. That's fine. Now, when you go to production, when you deploy, you start seeing so many glitches on, so many problems on client side works rather than the server side works. So all client side uh, inputs, or probably I'll be showing you later, like I told all client side processing, something like a browser blocked the script, a browser doesn't support this particular script statement, and Ajax got crashed. These kind of things really make our application very low in performance to end user, and probably sometimes it might crash also. I mean to say, user might get, this page cannot be displayed, or user might hang on for a long time and he might himself leave from our side. And what's the ultimate thing in what happened is, after a lot of our testing at server side, I tested my MVC controller, I tested my web APIs, all this. Uh, what happened is, because I did not do my client side testing, my browser testing, my JavaScript testing, my HTML testing, uh, I noticed that my app is still not rated as the richest app. So Angular, Google has really seen this in their own apps, and they decided that we should have an excellent JavaScript testing framework also. And that JavaScript testing framework, how they were a lot, maybe almost an year, Google was really taking suggestions from many people, like what is the best way to do the testing in the client side. And ultimately, they have introduced an excellent testing methodologies with their JavaScript framework, AngularJS. So today, for a developer, it's very important that Angular we don't use only for just writing scripts to perform some client-side operations, but we also need to use them as a client-side testing tool. That means we need to write test cases and then check all our stuff. I'm coming to testing in prerequisites. I have some more important things to tell in testing. But in my flow, what was my point? I'm in a title now. As a developer, what is AngularJS? That's my third point, which I was telling you. So testing is also very, very important for me as a developer. Okay. Then all other rest of things are something like regular things, like dynamic web application, if you talk, and the pattern development, all that. Okay. Now, three things I have told you about what Angular is for developer. Let me add one more big thing. The fourth thing, what is for Angular developer, is pattern-based development. Pattern-based development. Again, I really see that pattern-based development is something which really shows success to us. Okay, I hope you know what is pattern-based development, but still let me just tell you. See, any task I get today, we all being experienced or new developers, I repeat, being experienced as well as new developers, what we really do is any requirement comes to us, we always try to just fulfill that requirement in whatever the best logic that you can write. Don't mind on whatever the worst logic that we can write. Time is a big challenge for us, and especially in this agile development, we need to show our outputs today a daily basis also. So what every programmer, what every developer looks at is, hey, how am I going to really fulfill my task? What my task is, how am I going to fulfill that? And in that target, they start writing a code which is really not maybe not the best coding practice. Now, you all should know, including me, we all should know that today output is not the only criteria. Of course, output always has a value, but the app should be compatible to so many other things today. Everybody, please keep this in your mind. You want to stay in this uh, modern development, please keep in your mind it's not output. There are so many other things today that we are caring about, and you all should also care so that you are in that development demand, please. Okay. So, what's the simple blind rule to be in the best development? See, I really mean this for every one of you here. Just start writing your code based on the pattern. Do not write any code blindly. Somebody tells you, hey, design a login form for me. Whatever details are entered by user, check those login details in database and reply back with a page for valid users and an error for invalid users. Now, if this is the requirement, please don't just blindly go get started, create a web page, put your text boxes, button, double click on that button and start writing your code, directly connecting to database, getting the data into your form, and in the form itself, check it whether that username password is valid or not, and then create a token and then redirect. And don't feel that, hey, I have done a good work because my login works great. Now you have done good coding, you have done coding which gives you your output, but that style of coding, is it really something valid today or not, is pattern based development what I'm trying to address. When you go to pattern based development, when you write your code, that code, first thing, is it a testable code or not? Is that is testable? You didn't bother because you just designed the form and you just have written the code and you just check for login. Now when you start testing, maybe you will not be able to do the testing also for your code. Then you start realizing, hey, I should have written code in a separate class instead of writing in a button click. So you see, that's where you start, and then you start promoting, okay, let me write now, change this code from button click to a separate class. Now, once you move there, once you start moving your code in that fashion, then things become very difficult for you. I know we all manage code. At the end of the day, whatever is required, we do, but we all know, like, how much compromise we are doing. So don't do coding directly like that. Even in Angular, uh, you know, pattern based development. Now, coming straightforward, what is pattern based development? Pattern based development is which tells us when you have a task, implement the task in this method. Implement the task by writing the this code in a particular place, and by declaring variables in this particular place, by writing logic in this place. And I want to tell in big voice that pattern shows the success, not your code. You just follow the pattern will show the success to us. So you start writing code according to the pattern, then the pattern itself will take care of giving you the success in terms of scalability, in terms of testing, in terms of deployment, and in terms of performance. You might not really feel that when you are writing your code in a pattern style that it is going to be highly scalable tomorrow. But at least you can take my experience. Definitely, you will see a good scope in the coming days of your development if you go with pattern based development. So, whenever I say pattern, please remember it's not a software, please. Pattern is not a software, but pattern is just something like, you know, a predefined solution, a predefined methodology. I'm going with my own words, predefined methodology for writing our code. So today, why MVC is very popular, why cloud is very hot in the market today, why every small company to big company is moving to MVC based web development and cloud based development, because they all are pattern based. They're behind the scenes, they're strongly with patterns, please. So every pattern is predefined methodology for writing code. Okay. And we know MVC is a pattern. We know MVVM is a pattern. MVP is a pattern. Dependency injection is a pattern. Uh, those who are really feeling these words very complex, please give me some time. In the later sessions, I will be going from elementary. Okay. I'll I'll be telling you like what is MVC or how Angular goes and all that. Just let me roll on the titles, starting demo, or what should I say? Not demo exactly, but starting when I'm introducing you to multiple things. Let me just go with any term is difficult. Just remember what it is. Then slowly I will try to pick you up. Okay. Definitely these all things are going to come. Dependency injection is going to come. We will do that. Uh, you can see this list here. This is the list which I'm talking about. A list which is what today IT development is running, please. Hope you all know this list. You don't know, now it's time that you really learn all this and start writing your code in these patterns. All right. So this is not a talk which is meant for Angular. This is a talk meant for every developer running on every platform, please. Any platform that you are running. So why are we discussing this pattern based development in AngularJS? Because Angular has started provisioning JavaScript coding also for the first time in a pattern based development. I repeat, Angular also has started providing client side scripting for the first time in a pattern based development. Uh, if anybody is there in my team who already worked with Backbone or Knockout, where you say, hey, no, in Knockout also I did pattern. You did pattern based because it is you who manually implemented and you started. But Angular is something like every Angular feature is itself pattern based. It's very rich and it encourages it. It tells us to write all the code in pattern style, something like Angular says, I have a controller. You need to write your code using controller. Now, write code using controller is nothing but a pattern instruction, please. Okay. Anyhow, as of now, as a learner of Angular, or in future as a developer of Angular, the fourth aspect that you should keep in your mind is, hey, every code that I write in Angular should be pattern based code. Let's not compromise on writing code as we want. We should always write code according to the pattern. And Angular, supports multiple patterns. But as I was telling you yesterday, I don't know how many of you could get that in that setup mix up. Angular is model view star pattern. I see a lot of people calling Angular is another MVC pattern. That's wrong, please. And please don't compare me with any other online videos or other online content. I can prove this how Angular is MV star pattern as we go on. And you can also be very confident on that it is MV star pattern. Model view anything. What I mean to say there, MV star is model view anything is what that MV star pattern is. So this is really good stuff from Angular, and also little risky stuff from Angular is also a little bit this. Angular insists on writing JavaScript or client-side coding with a model, with a view, and leaves it to developer to go for a presenter model, or to go for a view model style of working, or to go with a controller model. Again, I told give me some time as we go on to get into this deeper. Please just try to understand overall view, because once you know this, then you can wait for, okay, you will show me client side scripting with Angular this way, please. That's why. So Angular says that whenever you are writing a program, write your code with model, with view. Model and view should be there, but in place of controller, or the third thing, it can be a presenter model, it can be a view model pattern, or it can be controller, or anything on your own. So the third one, see, when I compare with ASP.NET MVC coding with Angular, even though MVC is server side, ASP.NET MVC says every program you must write with model, view, and controller. The third one is fixed there, controller. But Angular says, hey, you can write code with model, view, but third one is your planning. Now that's something which Google tried to give high level of flexibility for coders actually. Okay, so uh, you know there are a lot of advantages of MV star pattern, but what I personally and some of my colleagues who are and also the architect level developers, what we little feel is this is again little bit risky to go in MV star pattern model. And what is the risk here is because every developer might go again in a different strategy of writing that third model, please. But still, anyhow, it's about the flexibility rather than difficulty here. So providing MV star pattern is really flexible also, please. It's not that it is always difficult only. Okay. So anyhow, as of now, please remember that Angular provides us MV star pattern style of working plus encourages us to use many other patterns. I keep telling always in my MVC class and other classes, one pattern encourages other pattern. It's like you go to one good guy, he will make you meet with many other good guys. Just like that, you go to one good pattern like MVC or Angular, they encourage you to use many other patterns. So Angular also dependency injection, then the repository style of writing code. These all patterns are provided by Angular. So one of the challenge for us in the course is to look to really learn how to write Angular in a particular model, like dependency injection, component model, and factory model. Okay. Uh, Let me just give that DI is my dependency injection pattern. Encouraging means what I'm trying to tell you. Then factory pattern. Again, I repeat, don't be scared. You don't know, hey, I don't know what is factory pattern you are talking. I will talk later when I'm doing a demo, maybe where dependency injection, where factory pattern comes, I'll explain them. Dependency injection, factory pattern, and the component pattern. Component pattern is the hot thing today in Angular. Today, Angular 2 main focus is on component model. Maybe you might have never heard about a class in JavaScript, but with Angular, you will see a class in JavaScript. You will see um, a property in JavaScript. You will just start listening to terms what you really heard in C Sharp or your C++ or Java now in Angular also. Uh, and I don't know I should call that way or not, but it really gives you a good object oriented mixed with component style of programming, which JavaScript never had in the past. All right. So Angular is really going to provide this. See, component is the main target of Angular 2. Angular 2, already Angular 1 has made big revolution in the market now. Angular 2 is going to really change the world of client-side scripting. Definitely. You can just see that. Because as I told you, I think you can catch me without any demo. It's all about component, like, class. Let me compare with C Sharp. In C Sharp or in .NET, when I say component, a library, a .dll is a component, a property is a component, a class is a component, an interface is a component. Now, you might have never written an interface in JavaScript, right? Hardly you write varx equal to an object. But now, when you come to Angular 2, you start writing interface, you start writing class, and start doing all your development in the similar style. So that's really awesome, right? If I can do that in client-side scripting, my coding will also be easy, and with many familiar things, I can do my programming. Okay. All right. So that's the fourth aspect. What Angular is for a developer, please, all of you. So just a small recap. What is Angular for a developer? Simplicity is the first thing that you will get. You can see there, I'm trying to simplicity is what you will be getting with Angular, no doubt about that. And you will be getting now what is the purpose of using AngularJS? Client-side scripting is what we will be, and then client-side testing, as I explained to you, what's the role of testing, and then pattern-based development. Okay, and a good overview like what is pattern based and how we all need to shift to that good style of coding is also very important. So please remember this for people, students or employees who are targeting interviews. Now this will be a very acceptable list of Angular. And once you are telling this, then probably people might ask you, hey, what do you mean by simplicity? Then that's what we will be seeing. Okay, something like data binding in Angular is simplicity. As we go on, I will try to justify that simplicity, the scripting, the client-side testing, and pattern-based development. So these are the main things for a developer, all of you. Okay, for a developer, this is the four things. Please remember these four. And then coming to the third one, just to make it more clear to you, I said AngularJS for end user, then I said AngularJS for developer, and now coming to what is AngularJS for a project. Before I go to some more slide points, Now, when I say, hey, how is AngularJS important for my project? Now, for every project, for every web-based project, many, many client-side scripting features are required. All right. See, when I'm talking in respect to project now, not in respect to development. Of course, the developer has to do this, but for a project, what it is. What is the biggest challenge in terms of web-based project today is something called DevOps. Okay. Maybe many of you have heard about this DevOps. If you have not heard also, today this is very important. DevOps is again collaboration. Again, not going deeper into DevOps now, so that you should not think all new terms are given, but these are all very, very important. It's all about collaboration. DevOps is the ultimate goal of IT today. And you heard about DevOps, it's okay. Otherwise, I'm trying to give you some simple things. DevOps tell us how you can do continuous development, and DevOps tell us how you can do continuous integration. Continuous integration. DevOps tell us how you can do everything in agile and everything in extreme programming model. Now, this is again not, with respect to Angular, please, but generally, this is what DevOps is all about. It's a big thing. DevOps is in every subject now. You should project that subject in terms of DevOps only, right? I told you, know, I'm not sure how many of you heard about this, but I want to make this now. You are listening to me, so I want to make sure that you all should know what is DevOps. Slowly, by the time we end something, wherever I possible, then I'll try to more talk about DevOps also. See, Angular JS is one of the best client-side framework which really helps you to have a best project maintenance and best project deployment. All right. See, when I talk about my project, let me take a small case, all of you. How Angular is good in terms of how why I should bother about AngularJS with respect to project. Just to justify that, when I build my app and deploy my app, there are so many changes that I need to continuously do today. Gone are the days where we used to have a 3 months build cycle. Now, very funny. I don't know. I cannot see you all, but otherwise, I would like to see your reaction on this. How often your build goes in real time today now? Anybody? How often your builds go? I mean to say, uh, do you build every 1 month and then publish to your production, all of you? Or do you build weekly or anything like that? What is your build time? Yeah, Venugopal says it is weekly, right? You can see there. Now, see, at least, weekly is little good, but what I was trying to tell is I'm seeing, from past 1.5 year, I can share my experience. I don't know how many of you are with me, you'll agree that we have built hourly also. Don't be surprised. Okay, we have built hourly also. We start building hourly and then start publishing our app every hour. Maybe sometimes the whole day. We had scenarios where we have built 3 times and pushed them into production. Now, what is that? How is that possible? in a day, how can you have three builds or three build deployments and all that? How are you collaborating with your team, with your on-site team, with your local team, with your customer? And where is your testing? Where is your testing? Did anybody check that code three times? How can you have in a day build? Now, at the end of the day, the client says, I'm helpless. My customer wants the change immediately. My customer wants this feature immediately. Otherwise, he's going to lose the business. This is a challenging world. Agree with me? Anybody can say yes, no? Do you see this kind of scenarios nowadays or not now? Once you go to production, you have a lot of, you know, things, stuff like where you will be always seeing that, hey, I need this change, do it immediately like this. So that's fine. We know how to make change. Our team knows how to make change, but building that in that few hours and then putting it up, it's not only the developer skill, but there should also be an automation skill behind that. I repeat my word, there should be an automation behind that. I will write, I will write my updated Angular code. That's not a problem to me. But who is going to uh, make this deployed without conflicting? Who is going to immediately test this and immediately passing the test and then push this from stage to dev? And from dev to stage and from stage to production, who is going to do that? Now there I cannot sit and do that. And if I sit and do that, I cannot have a three builds per day. Whatever may be the expert I am, I might be a gem, but I cannot do three builds per day on my own. So DevOps is what something which really uh, gives you that kind of continuous development, all of you. It's all about maybe technically DevOps means continuous development, continuous integration, collaboration, all that. But I always say that DevOps means automation. It's automation. You depend on tools, you sit at your place, write your code, automatically upgrading it, automatically testing it, automatically finding the conflicts, and then putting that into the production and directly showing the app. That's awesome, right? Just imagine if you can give that kind of development to the user will be the most convenient, user will be the most convenient. Application development will never fail. The company never fails. I don't know. Nothing goes wrong. No company is at loss. No user is at loss, and the customer is the happiest at the end. So AngularJS has, with many other open sources support, it has great support to get your application into automation also. Angular has good support to have, as you write the code, compile it, then automatically the build goes. You see, this is what the automation I'm talking about. I hope you got what I'm talking about, automation there. So Angular gives that support to me in terms of project also. This is not coding, but this is all about setup, how you are going to do. Then I cannot set up, but I need somebody, a tool, which something like Jenkins, or something like TFS, which, or Visual Studio Team Services today we call, which is going to take my Angular JS and then try to automatically build and deploy things for me. All right. So Angular is very good, and it has good support. Maybe how much we will do this in our course, I don't know, because this goes in level 300 and all, with terms of client-side scripting. But I just want to tell you this. AngularJS has good support for DevOps style of building. Okay, so I gave you what is DevOps, and AngularJS has all the support for DevOps. So maybe when I'm coding later, I will try to also show you under what scenarios you will be getting this kind of a DevOps style of working. Okay, so that's the most important talk, all of you. Everybody, I'm not expecting a good knowledge of coding from you. That I will take care as I am showing you coding and all. Everything I will take care as usual. But I expect you to be very good at what I was just talking about. What is AngularJS for an end user? What is AngularJS for developer? And what is AngularJS for a project? Right? So at least if not practically or coding way, maybe some of you are excellent. You got this all. Others who are just starting with getting hands into Angular and trying to be experts, have this projection first, please. Okay, like whatever I was telling you, because based on project, based on development, 100%, if I'm not wrong, I just ignored very small, minute things, but overall, most important big things I tried to project to you as a developer, how it's important for us. All right. Now, let me come back here. As I was explaining, MVC pattern, MV star pattern handles common tasks. All right. Manipulating, updating UI. And this is all my simplicity talk, which I was telling. One of my things which I was mentioning is Angular for developers is simplicity. Can you see this? Updating UI based on data. Something something you will really feel like clapping in JavaScript when you do with Angular, this binding sort of thing. Okay, give me some time to show this, maybe probably in third, fourth session from now, when we start getting more deeper into Angular coding, I will be showing you this. And registering callbacks and performing all manipulations. And that too, these points are all leading to the simplicity, all of you. And that too in a declarative programming style, not in an imperative programming style. So declarative programming is, rather than more digging deeper into how to do, it's something like you just tell Angular, please do it for me. We always like that, right? Everybody likes that. Especially .NET people lot like things to happen from .NET side, Visual Studio side, and all that, right? I always talk this. Okay, what is the declarative programming? Which is one good thing is, rather than how to do, you know what you need. If you can tell Angular what you need, Angular is really going to do the task for me. A simple example is, I have a text box. Somebody is typing in that text box. Whatever that user is typing in that text box, that should go to my backend, and relevant data should appear just below that. Let's say a stock exchange market. Now I just type Reliance and press enter. I should get the Reliance data. Now for this, we plan a lot of coding. Oh, take text box, click on button, then take the text box value, send it to backend, run a stored procedure, then check the data, and data is there, then return it in dataset, and then read from dataset and show it. No, not that. That's an imperative style of coding. When I say declarative, it's something like this. I will tell Angular, I have a text box, I have a div. Whenever user types anything in text box, automatically post it to my API or my stored procedure. What stored procedure gives, just show that in div. You see, I'm not coding, I'm telling Angular, I need output in div. I need to initiate the action when user types it, and data should come from my API. When I set up these three guys, automatically you will see that as user types, the results appear. Awesome again. Really very good coding model, because you go with a lot of declarative style of coding rather than the imperative or manual coding style. All right, so that's a very important slide for Angular, please, which really tells you like what is AngularJS for everybody, and also what are the features of AngularJS. All right, moving forward, I think I was discussing a lot of prerequisites. Keep this slide in your mind. We will have questionnaire. Uh, Slowly, probably I will give you questions time. You can pose questions to me. Keep writing your questions so that you don't forget them. And questions when somebody is asking, just be patient. If when I give you time, you can chat with me a question or you can talk to me with a question. I will share that question with everybody and then answer that question and then move forward. Okay. So just be patient. Once you ask question, you don't get reply, then I don't start, typing. I'm not getting reply. I'm not getting reply. Like, just always wait for a few minutes when you pose a question. Not now. I'll give you time maybe after a few more minutes from now. Okay. So this is a very important list. I request you all to know this slide content which I gave in a not just like a simple point. The time I have spent, you can see on explaining all this content, and this title is important. And then I still have for today to tell about some prerequisites. Yeah. Now just do this also. Give me a minute to take over. Just a minute. I just also, yeah. I just want to tell, like, you're doing AngularJS today. What are the main things, please, all of you, for every .NET developer? WCF, Web API, cloud computing, MVC, AngularJS are the main things for us in terms of development. Or at least I can say for the next 2-3 years, .NET is really going to use all these things. Okay. And whenever you are learning any one of these subjects, which I told you, I said any one of these subjects, yeah, Web API, WCF, shall I list out? Somebody's asking me that. Okay, see here, what's important in today's .NET development, I'm just trying to list out that, guys. See, yeah, see, C Sharp, web forms, it's all fine. Now I'm talking about development and how you are going to continue in your future. Something like SOA with WCF, Web API, must this is, and and how many of you? It's very difficult in online training to ask, but you have this hand raise, and also you have a chat option where you can just say yes, no. Also, not a big difficulty. How many of you know that we are in today .NET Core 1.0 version? The latest version of .NET is Core 1.0. It's not any ASP.NET 5 or ASP.NET 6 like that. Today, it is again back to Core 1. Awesome. Many of you know that. Great. Okay, that's great. So I think you're raising your hands to say that you know it, right? It's ASP.NET Core 1.0. Very good, very good. So others, I just want to tell you that we are today in Core 1.0, please, all of you. Really great. I appreciate a lot of you know that. It's easy for me when you start knowing that things that to I really need not pump anything to really make you feel like this is important. So ASP.NET or .NET latest version is not 6.0 or 5.0, please. Today, the latest version of .NET is Core 1.0, please. It's a different .NET. Don't be scared, but it's a different .NET in terms of happiness, I should say. We can really be happy on this .NET, please, because we are now one of the major open source contributors in the market. Yeah, you heard me right. We are one of the major open source people today, please, all of you. Okay. Uh, if you need, sometime we'll talk about that .NET Core, but let me finish this list. SOA with WCF Web API, MVC is also mandatory. Cloud, Azure, huge response we are seeing for Azure today. Microsoft Azure Cloud Platform, the last 1 year and the current year, there's a huge response from Azure, and and Angular, what you are learning. One of the best thing that you're doing is today you're trying to get yourself good with Angular. These are some things which are going to run the show for us. probably many other small things, but ultimately a developer should target all this list, please. All right. So that's what I just wanted to give you a list, like what is important for us. All right. Now, now coming back here. So what I was telling you, for all this list, many of the things in the IT you should know, please. You must know many of the things like this. See here. I tried to prepare a small prerequisite for our course. This is what I expect from you. I expect from you means if you are not aware, I will be talking about them. You should know about them. Maybe in the next session, I'll spend half an hour or so on talking about this list, please. Okay, because I have some of the audience who are basic, please. Others, you will get a lot of new points as I'm explaining. Definitely, I will not keep it dry for you. I'll make that, see that you understand it. Okay, what's the list? HTML, JavaScript, CSS, Ajax, single page application, SPAs. It's single page app, and APIs is the prerequisite for this course. Actually, you are supposed to know this. In theory also is great, if not practically. Still, I told you no. In the starting sessions, we can spend an half an hour on this. What is SPA? What is API? What is Ajax? What is CSS? Very interesting stuff is there in each of these areas to know. So I will spend some time. Those who are really not perfect with this, please feel free to put me a question for a little more time to take than half an hour. Otherwise, that's the time I have planned to little discuss about these things. In the next session, I'll be talking about them. Okay. All right. So that's the prerequisite list, please. Okay. Somebody asks me, AngularJS doesn't need to use jQuery at all. Yes, also, and no, also, please. All right. So is many, it's not, Lakshman is asking me that actually is AngularJS doesn't need to use jQuery at all. Many jQuery people are really interested that they want a jQuery to be implemented. But let me tell you, Angular implements jQuery for you. You need not implement jQuery. So when you say, do I need to know jQuery to do Angular? I will say absolutely, without jQuery also, you can do a full-fledged Angular-based development. No need of any jQuery, please. But yes, today you don't do 100% of client-side JavaScript coding in your project with jQuery, please. I'm sorry, with Angular, please. You need to do your coding with jQuery also, just because we don't know some type of things to do, how to perform in Angular. I don't know, I was quick. Just to know, like some of the tasks that we were doing in our jQuery, some of the tasks that we were doing in jQuery, we can do them in Angular, but I told no, like many of them are not aware of how to really do them. Some things are very easy in jQuery. We cannot forget jQuery. It's for its contribution in the development. It's very, very rich. Okay, so we will now, if you want a honest answer, jQuery, if you know, you can use, and if you're not aware of jQuery, it's also good. You can learn directly Angular use of it and then implement it. All right. So JavaScript basics, yes, Rajeshwar, definitely we will do JavaScript basics. Okay. Yes, that's what I told you, Lakshman. Like, I think you didn't get my point. Lakshman is still saying that I see that some of the ng directives are using jQuery. No, that's what I was trying to tell you. Do I need to use jQuery or Angular uses jQuery? That's the point I was explaining you. Hope you got now. Let me tell you again. I use Angular. Angular uses jQuery. but something like I don't need to write directly Angular. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So JavaScript basics, many are asking, almost 4 or 5. They want to know a little bit of JavaScript basics. Definitely, we'll do that. I told I'll dedicate some session time for that also. In the next class, we'll talk about JavaScript basics also. But I want support from you to give a good hand on this prerequisites list. Don't try to do Angular without knowing what are these, please. Practically, it's my job to show you Ajax, SPA, APIs in my demos, but theoretically starting, you must know what these are, please, all of you, what these are, please, which I'm going to tell you, but something from your side also. I'll give you good resources where you can start practicing a little bit these things along with my demos also. Okay, coming to a little hardcore list, the scaling list, uh, okay, is again SPA, which I mentioned here, TDD, test driven development, BDD, behavior driven development, DevOps, CDN, and cloud. Um, Many, wherever I'm, whenever I go to corporate and take Angular classes, um, everybody, when I show this list, they start asking me, hey, what are you talking? If these are prerequisites to learn AngularJS, then what is something that I have to learn after completing AngularJS? See, let me make it clear like how I clear them. This is not to do Angular. This is not a list that you have to know practically how to do this. This is a list which you should be aware that we need to consider this and do Angular. Test driven means what? Behavior driven means what? Today, I took a good time to tell you about DevOps. Maybe you got some basic idea on DevOps. Um, uh, at least that's what I was trying to tell you. What you need to know, okay, there is DevOps. You need to know there is automation also. You need to know there is CDN. There are a lot of people I see, colleagues and my juniors, CDN, hey, what is that CDN? So, and some are very good, knowing a lot of good things than me, also better in CDN. So CDN is basically content delivery network or content distribution network. Content delivery network. It's a cloud environment for scripts today, a cloud environment for CSS today. So this is the prerequisites, all of you, that you all need to know. And I am expecting that many of you don't know this. So I'll be talking about these things. I told not directly how to do automation, but I'll little focus on these terms in the next class. What is TDD? If I tell in the starting only, what is a good thing is you can set up your mind. Oh, I have to do now TDD style of Angular coding, not like anything how on internet you see any Angular articles or how anybody is showing Angular demos. Not that way. Really, in terms of development, you need to go in a little different approach. So once you know, hey, SPA is this, TDD is this, DevOps is this, then you can plan according to that. So anyhow, that's my prerequisite list. I uh, urge you that you need to start pulling these titles into your mind. Keep it in the pipeline, not in just 1 week of time. Hey, all this list I am going to master. Not that way, but it's almost like introducing you to all this stuff today. Today, they all are the key things. I never tell some things which are not useful. Even if anybody asks me something which are not useful, I'll directly cut it off. Whatever list I'm giving you, uh, it's very valuable list. Always, please, always. Okay, don't take it anything as uh, you know out of this. That's not useful. This not useful. Don't go in that way, please. Okay. So this is a list where I expect all of you to know about this, what the prerequisites list. Okay, somebody's posing questions. I'm just diverted there. Okay, anyhow, so I think we had a good overview of what is AngularJS, what we need to know about it, and the prerequisites list I gave you at the end. And prior to that, what I was discussing with you, the AngularJS as a frame. More I'll be talking. Starting classes, I have so many things to tell you. It's a framework rather than library. We'll talk about that as we go on. Okay. So for the day, from my side, that is the content. Now let's take questions, all of you. Just pose your questions for the next 5 minutes. We will take a few questions. Let me see how many of you would go with questions so that I can answer and next time give more or less time based on your queries. First thing I want to ask you, first, before your questions, all of you, have you got a basic idea of what is AngularJS and as a developer, how AngularJS we have to look at the four things which I was showing you in my notepad. Can I know that from you, please, all of you in your chats? Only theoretically, are you aware, you got idea, yes, hey, this is what Angular for me. Otherwise, I'll be teaching every day a course, you will be in a different projection, you will think, oh, there is a text box, I have to show that in a label, that is AngularJS. Okay. Oh, that's thanks. So it's my responsibility, I will take care of moving on to all this presentation in my code. Okay, right, that's fine. I got a response from all that. Everybody, almost everybody got that very clearly. That's very nice of you. Okay, that's good. Yeah, now let me take questions one by one. Ranjit says, what version of AngularJS we will learn? See, what version of AngularJS we will learn? We will be doing majority of Angular with 1.x and including Angular version 2.0. As I already started today, I introduced you to 2.0 component concept of AngularJS, where I was telling you interface, class, this kind of things you can do. All right, that answers Ranjit's question. We'll be doing majority of, see, it's not like we do all new Angular 2 only and say, hey, I know Angular 2. Angular, you cannot do Angular 2 implementation completely today in the project. So whatever is required in the app, we'll be doing that Angular code, please. Angular 1 plus the Angular 2 features, whatever comes in between our coding. The next question I have is from Shekhar, Nagashekhar. Okay, basics. Okay, he was just telling basics are very important. That's taken very well. Thank you, Shekhar. Then next, Lakshman asks me, it's basically used to follow the pattern and unit testing. Okay, I think Lakshman is asking me about, where is that question of him? Where is that time? Yeah. He was asking about Bower and NPM. Yes, Lakshman, we will a little talk about NPM. Maybe I will be talking about grunt gulp rather than NPM. NPM is mainly when you are going for Node. NPM is Node Package Manager, basically. In Node.js, if we get time, if we talk about it, then we'll try to see NPM also. NPM is basically when you are in a Node.js environments, please. Okay, but we'll talk about Gulp, which is the automation which I was talking about, Angular with respect to project, please. All right. Okay, that's good. Next question, please. I have 2 more minutes to take your questions. Okay, Nagshekhar says, is Angular developed based on JavaScript jQuery? Yes. Okay. There is a funny story for Google really going to build Angular. Maybe I don't have time also to share. Sometime I'll share Angular. Google had a lot of issues with jQuery and John Resig. Um, Google started using a lot of jQuery, but at one point of time, they started facing problems with jQuery that we cannot support this, we cannot provision this and all. So Angular, Google planned to build their own framework on that stuff. So see, first thing, please remember from now onwards, every JavaScript framework is built purely based on JavaScript, please. Yeah, make sure all of you. Nagshekar raised a good question for all of us. He says, is Angular based on JavaScript and jQuery? So I want to cut jQuery from that, please. Every JavaScript framework is built using JavaScript. So you should always keep in your mind that AngularJS is JavaScript only. jQuery is JavaScript only. Knockout is JavaScript only. Don't never forget that. Now, if is it built based on jQuery? I won't say completely yes, and I won't say completely no. Yeah, it's built on a little using jQuery also, please. Okay, it's built in using jQuery also, but we have nothing to do with that because we will directly use AngularJS, and it internally uses our jQuery. Okay, that's good. Next, awesome. Okay. Awesome. Again, a good question. Naga Prasanna Kumar says, yeah, we came to know what Angular contains, but we also want to know when we have things like, yeah, this is a very good thing. Probably, can I ask you a question? Are you a jQuery or Backbone developer, Kumar? jQuery, awesome. Okay, so that means I should never demote jQuery in my talks. It will pain you. All right. Okay. So when you have so good frameworks like jQuery, Backbone, Knock. Anyhow, question to everybody: what he says, when we have jQuery, Backbone, Knockout solving problems, why and where to use AngularJS? Okay. Um, if you give me some time, it's in my objective. I'm back to my slide. You can see there why we should go to Angular JS only. We will talk in deeper when we have jQuery, when we have Backbone. Why should I go to Angular? Okay, so there is a two-slide content for me where I'm going to talk about Angular. All of you, please. So give me some time to answer that. Kumar, okay, we will that I was just trying to show you that I have that content in my pipeline. Okay, it's not something like in a minute we can do that. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, that's a nice question, but we need to know when jQuery is there, why should a lot of my students also ask me, hey, jQuery is there, no sir, why again Angular? How many more that things are going to come in this learning process? But I really agree with a sentence like how many more we have to run, but that you should exclude for Angular. For Angular, you must learn because it's really very, very good development model, please. Okay. You will experience that rather than my words because it has rich development model, especially for a very awkward JavaScript. It has very good way of building. Okay. So let me come in order questions. Um, WCF services can be called by AngularJS? Exactly. Ranjit asks me this question. Can we call WCF service from Angular? Of course, and 100%. You need to call WCF web APIs from AngularJS. We will see that. We have that demo also in our list. In the ending, last part of our Angular course will be how to use web APIs services from Angular code. Okay. Next, I have Dayanand asking me, can you please share the notes and PPT in blog? Notes I cannot guarantee, my words I cannot guarantee, but PPT definitely I will share with all of you. And I also said like um, people who are in India, I can also send a pen drives for you with all the content if you need, but at your cost of pen drive, not in the course. Please don't mind. But otherwise, I'll be putting all my PPTs and my demos in GitHub and my blog. Definitely, I do that regularly, then, not only for Angular. So don't worry, you will get every material. Just keep writing. I keep on telling so many things. If you can get all my words perfect, then I can guarantee that you will be a best developer. So don't miss my things when I'm explaining. PPTs 100% you will get, demos you will get 100%. Any material that I'm author of two books today, one ASP.NET and one interview questions. And I'm also writing, complete .NET new book. Maybe it will take more than 6 months to come where everything will be there, WCF and all this. That will be my third publishing book actually. So that materials which I am preparing today, I'll also share with you, please, for cloud and all I have. Okay. Then we have PPTs I'm going to share. Okay, jQuery is a library, not a framework. Yeah, see, yeah, Lakshman again has a question. jQuery is a library, not a framework. Correct. jQuery is a library, but Angular is a framework. Now, how can Angular, when it's built on JavaScript, can be a framework? We will talk about that. Okay, so yeah, it's right that Angular is a framework. It's not a library like jQuery. I told no, I will be talking about that. Where will be available those books? Just go to Flipkart, just go to Amazon, type Nagaraju books. You will directly get my two books available on internet. All right. You'll directly get in Flipkart. You can buy my interview questions book, or in Amazon also it's available, or in any computer bookstore. Okay, Rajeshwar. Then what's next? Notes. All right. So I think we're out of time for the day. Hope we had a good session today, unlike yesterday where we were struggling with setup. Yesterday, my Go meeting data center was down. And please bear with me whenever I have a data center down or any difficulties. I would be available on the phone number which I gave to all of you. Maybe I have to give to only one or two. In case sometimes when it's unavailable, just check your emails. I will be available on my phone number or in the chat in case in our coming sessions whenever we have. And I think I have sent the schedule at least for next 20 classes like that on which days we are going to have this, right? Um, 5 days a week is what we are going to have our class. And whenever we don't have a class during weekdays, then Saturday, Sunday also probably we will plan. This is our first week of 2 days, so we will be doing 5 days a week class, please, all of you, Monday to Friday. Weekends I have other classes, Venugopal. That's the reason I'm little an evangelist. I go out and speak on Saturday, Sundays. So I would not be able to take, but I will have in weekends also. Not in the starting first week or second week of our close. Don't worry about that. And we will be doing. No, I mentioned this is a regular course, daily course. It's not weekends. You will have some other weekend course or something else. Okay, and uh, we will be having. Yes, yes. In a schedule, one Sunday is also there because maybe that week one day I'm going to take off. That's why Sunday or Saturday I'm going to take, please. Okay. So anyhow, weekly schedules you can just. I was creating yesterday all our schedule. It might be a little tentative, it might be changed. Okay, as you know, circumstances we might change. But anyhow, Monday to Friday we'll be meeting. Just go through. Please make sure you all have Visual Studio or some editors. Yesterday I was telling you Visual Studio 2013, 2015, or some tool like Brackets or Visual Studio Code. So in the next class, we'll also talk about what we'll also start doing a couple of simple two programs, not to get into deeper into Angular, but to test our setup, please. Okay. I will take one last question. Don't put any more question. How frequently we are getting materials nodes demos? Uh, and is Angular is faster than JavaScript? That two questions I'll answer and end up for the day. How frequently we are going to get materials nodes demos? Just maybe probably for every 2 days I will put it in my blog. You can collect it, please, for every 2 days. That will be good for all of us, right? Is Angular faster than JavaScript? Oh my god. So Raghavendra asks me, is Angular faster than JavaScript? I want to give this chance to attendees. Come on now. Is Angular faster than JavaScript? Who is going to tell me? Is Angular faster than JavaScript? Ranjit says yes. I'm looking for some more. Yes, 100%. Wow, wow. Because Gaurav says no, Balakrishna says no. I'm. It's good. See, I am going to see throughout my course who is going to best answer my queries and best do some good exercises. And I'm going to really give a good goodie to them, an excellent goodie that you cannot buy and get from anywhere. Okay. Yeah. So what were the answers? Most of them say what? SPA. No, no, just say yes, no, don't give any explanation. The question that was raised is Angular more faster than JavaScript? You can change your answer if you want. It's good to test ourselves like this. Come on. No, question is correct. Jayprakash, question is correct. He's asking, if I write code in Angular, will it be faster than if I write code in JavaScript? That's what he's asking. Arun says no. Jayprakash says no. Venugopal says yes. Come on. Somebody says no. Nagashekar says yes. Okay. Still someone trying. Good, good. No, no, no. Satish, Sujay, good. No. Any more? See, you should be very active because this is online and I need to see everybody just giving me good responses. It's fine. Excellent from excellent team. I think I have got all of you. So the right answer is no. Okay, Angular can never be faster than JavaScript, please. No, no is the right answer. Why? Because Angular generates JavaScript only for you. Whatever code you directly write JavaScript, that's going to be always the fastest, please. So Angular generates JavaScript for us, please. How can it be faster than JavaScript? You can compare Angular with other JavaScript frameworks, but not with JavaScript. I agree. Somebody saying the question is not correct. I can understand your answer in that way, Jayprakash. That question is not correct because Angular is going to use JavaScript. Okay. See, it should be equally good. Yes, correct. It is equally good. It's almost like JavaScript and Angular will be same in performance. But directly when we start write any JavaScript code, that will be always faster because Angular has to little render JavaScript and all that. Right, guys. Thank you very much. It was great day today. Really, I feel excited that I could share a good AngularJS session today. So we'll meet again back on Monday. Meanwhile, you're always the email is open. You can pose your queries. Make sure your queries are less, please, because I get less time to answer. And if my technical queries are there, my team will be able to answer like any other things you want. Okay. Uh, Thank you all for the day. We'll meet again on Monday with the same setup and all that, please. Thank you very much, all of you. And bye bye for the day.